You were never taught how to control your emotions. You were told to toughen up, told to stop crying, told to move on without understanding what just broke inside you. But emotional strength is not about bottling it up. It is about understanding, awareness, mastery. Emotional intelligence is the silent power that separates the reactive from the wise, the loud from the calm, the fragile from the unshakable. And Stoicism teaches you that the man who knows himself cannot be destroyed by the world. Marcus Aurelius didn't rise through chaos by yelling back at the storm. He wrote, reflected, and trained his mind to respond with clarity, not rage. And you can do the same. This is not about being soft. It is about becoming a master of your inner world, so nothing outside of you can ever control you again. In this video, we will break down 6 powerful Stoic steps that will help you build emotional intelligence and transform the way you face life. Starting now. Step 1. Recognize the trigger before the reaction. Before a fire breaks out, there is always a spark. Before anger explodes, before sadness drowns you, before frustration clouds your judgment, there is always a small trigger. And the first sign of emotional intelligence is learning to recognize it before it becomes something uncontrollable. You must train yourself to notice the moment your breathing changes, your muscles tighten, your heart races. That moment right there, that is where your power lives. Most people skip it. They go from stimulus to response, like animals reacting to pain. But the Stoic man learns to live in the space between. He senses the discomfort rising, and instead of reacting, he pauses. That pause is sacred. It is where growth begins. You do not scream. You do not shut down. You observe. You breathe. You give yourself permission to feel without being consumed. This is not suppression. It is mastery. Emotional intelligence does not mean you never feel anger or sadness. It means those emotions never control your decisions. You do not send the text you will regret. You do not say the words you cannot take back. You do not let her chaos drag you into a war you did not start. You stay grounded. You anchor yourself in reason, in purpose, in the truth that no storm is more powerful than the calm inside you. If you can learn to recognize that trigger, if you can intercept it before it hijacks your peace, you are already ahead of most. The world will test you. Women will test you. Your own mind will test you. But your power will come from this simple realization. The trigger is not your enemy. It is your teacher. And every time you catch it before it explodes, you gain another piece of control. The kind of control that builds a legacy. One calm breath at a time. Step 2. Name the emotion to weaken its control. When you feel something powerful rise within you, your instinct might be to resist it or ignore it, but that only gives it more strength. Instead, speak it. Not out loud to others, but to yourself. Put a name to the beast. Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it jealousy? Is it abandonment? Call it out. Because the moment you identify what you feel, it loses its grip on you. It becomes a subject of your observation instead of a master of your behavior. This is one of the most overlooked habits of emotional intelligence. People rush to act, to numb, to distract themselves from pain. But naming your emotion forces you to stay with it. And in that stillness, you realize something profound. The emotion is not you. It is a visitor. A wave that will pass if you don't let it crash through everything you've built. Men who lack this awareness will say things they regret. They'll try to win arguments instead of preserving peace. They'll self-destruct just to feel something different. But you are here to lead yourself. And leadership begins with clarity. When you say to yourself, I feel rejected, or I feel insecure, you are not showing weakness. You are showing precision. That awareness gives you space. And in that space, you can choose your next move. You don't lash out. You don't beg. You don't chase validation. You let the emotion exist, and then you outlast it. The woman who tried to manipulate you with silence, with mixed signals, with emotional games, she wanted a reaction. But what she got was a man who knew what he felt, who sat with it, who refused to be baited into chaos. That is what makes you dangerous. Not rage. Not aggression. But emotional precision. Most people live in confusion. They don't know what they're really feeling, so they hurt others without knowing why. But you walk through the storm with clarity. You say to yourself, this is sadness. This is disappointment. This is fear of being forgotten. And then you breathe. You walk with that truth. You carry it, but you don't let it steer you. Because emotional intelligence is not about feeling less. It is about choosing how you respond, no matter how much you feel. That is strength. That is self-respect. That is Stoic discipline in action. Step 3. Master the pause between feeling and action. Most people are slaves to impulse. They feel, they act, and then they regret. They say something out of anger, walk away out of pride, or explode out of fear. But if you truly want emotional intelligence, you must worship the pause. That tiny space between what hits your heart and what moves your mouth. That space is where greatness is born. The man who controls that space does not react. He responds. He observes. He measures. And then he moves with clarity. This is not passivity. This is power under control. A bomb that chooses not to detonate. A blade that does not need to be drawn to prove it is sharp. The moment you feel disrespected, unappreciated, betrayed, you will feel the fire. But before you let it burn your dignity, you pause. You breathe once. You let silence fill the room. And in that silence, you rise above. Not because you are numb, but because you are sovereign. Women, friends, even your own family might push you to react. They want your emotion. Your outburst. Your breakdown. But when you learn the sacred pause, you rob them of control. You become untouchable. That is what makes you powerful. You are not stoic because you feel less. You are stoic because you decide what to do with what you feel. The pause is where you remember who you are. It is where you remind yourself that your peace is more valuable than being right. That your mission is more important than proving a point. That your self-respect is never for sale. Emotional intelligence is not a trick. It is a lifelong discipline. And every time you pause, you train your mind to obey you. You become the master, not the victim. That woman who tried to trigger you with passive comments, delayed replies, or emotional withdrawal, she loses her grip on you when you stop reacting. Because now, you are not her emotional puppet. You are your own man. And the moment she realizes she can no longer manipulate your emotions, the power shifts. You stop being the chaser and become the standard. But it all starts with that pause. That breath. That invisible act of resistance. That is where you separate yourself from the masses. That is where you rise. Emotional intelligence is not earned in moments of peace. It is forged in the fire, when everything in you wants to explode, but you choose presence. You choose control. You choose wisdom. And in that choice, you reclaim your throne. One pause at a time. Step 4. Observe without absorbing. One of the most dangerous things a man can do is take everything personally. Every tone. Every word. Every look. He makes it about him. He lets it settle inside his chest like poison. But emotional intelligence means you develop the ability to observe without letting it enter your bloodstream. You can see a storm without stepping into it. You can hear criticism without losing sleep. You can witness disrespect without surrendering your peace. Most people are emotional sponges. They absorb every drop of negativity around them and wonder why they feel so heavy. But the Stoic man is different. He stands in the same environment, surrounded by the same chaos, yet he remains untouched. Because he has trained his mind to become a shield, not a sponge. People will project their pain onto you. A woman might lash out because of her own insecurities. A colleague might belittle you because of his envy. A friend might ghost you because he cannot handle your growth. None of this is about you. And the moment you realize that, you stop bleeding for battles that are not yours. You become a mirror, not a magnet. You reflect what is given, but you do not hold on to it. This is not coldness. It is wisdom. There is a silent power in not letting your inner world be dictated by someone else's emotional storms. You see it. You feel it. But you do not absorb it. You do not let it shape your identity. That woman who ignores your texts, gives you mixed signals, tests your patience, she is trying to pull you into her chaos. She wants a reaction. She wants to know she still has control. But when you observe without absorbing, you remain calm. You do not punish her. You do not chase her. You simply stand still. And that silence becomes louder than any argument. It tells her you are not desperate. You are not emotionally available to confusion. You are stable. And that stability is rare. That stability is power. In a world full of reactive men, be the one who watches. In a room full of noise, be the quiet one who understands. Emotional intelligence is not about feeling less. It is about filtering more. Knowing what is yours to carry and what must be left behind. You do not need to respond to every insult. You do not need to engage with every provocation. You are not here to win every argument. You are here to win yourself. Step 5. Respond with intention, not impulse. Emotional intelligence is the ability to pause before you act and ask yourself one question: what outcome do I truly want? Most people never ask that. They feel something and react instantly. She says something hurtful, they snap. He insults them, they retaliate. Life throws a curveball, they panic. But this knee-jerk lifestyle is not strength. It is slavery. Slavery to the emotion of the moment. The Stoic man does not live like that. He is deliberate, measured, intentional. He may feel the fire rising, but he does not throw it back. He waits. He thinks. He decides. This is not weakness. It is power. The kind of power that terrifies people who thrive on chaos. Women who once controlled you with drama will start to feel powerless. Because they no longer have the ability to provoke a reaction. And that silence, that stillness, becomes your weapon. When you respond with intention, your words carry weight. You do not just speak to be heard. You speak to create direction. To set boundaries. To lead. And when you choose not to respond at all, that too is a decision. A powerful one. Sometimes the greatest display of strength is walking away without a single word. Let them wonder. Let them feel the absence of your energy. That is how you reclaim your value. This step is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally precise. Imagine a man who never wastes words. Who never enters battles he cannot win. Who never lets temporary emotions destroy permanent relationships or opportunities. That man becomes dangerous. Because every move he makes is calculated. Not cold. Just clear. You can be kind without being soft. You can be forgiving without being foolish. You can be loving without losing yourself. But only if you stop letting impulse run your life. The world will hand you countless opportunities to react. Most of them will be traps. You will be baited by disrespect, by miscommunication, by emotional games. But if you hold your line, if you act from wisdom rather than woundedness, you win. Maybe not today. Maybe not in front of them. But in the long game of life, you rise while others self-destruct. So train yourself to pause. Breathe. Evaluate. What do I want from this moment? What action aligns with who I am becoming? That pause is everything. It separates the weak from the wise, the lost from the legendary. Every time you act from intention instead of impulse, you build a legacy rooted in discipline, clarity, and purpose. The kind of legacy that cannot be shaken by a single moment. Because it is built one powerful response at a time. Step 6. Reflect deeply and often. A strong man does not move through life blindly. He steps forward, but he always looks inward. Emotional intelligence is not just about handling moments as they come. It is about learning from those moments so they never own you again. Every day is a lesson, every conflict a mirror. The question is, are you paying attention? Most people do not reflect. They distract. They numb themselves with noise, with scrolling, with talking, with endless entertainment just to avoid facing what they felt, what they said, what they became in the heat of the moment. But you cannot grow in the dark. You must look at yourself under the light of honest reflection. When you feel rage, ask why it surfaced. When you feel small, ask where the wound still lives. When you stayed calm in chaos, ask what gave you that strength. Every answer brings clarity. Every insight becomes a weapon. This is not self-judgment. It is self-honesty. It is the courage to sit alone in silence and face your own mind like a warrior. You review the day not to shame yourself but to sharpen yourself. What did I do right? What did I allow that I should not have? What can I do differently next time? That is how men rise. Not by pretending they have it all figured out, but by being relentless students of their own behavior. If you want to be emotionally intelligent, you must create space to look within. That means setting aside time every day to be with your own thoughts. No phone. No distractions. Just you and the truth. Some of it will hurt. Some of it will free you. All of it will shape you into someone stronger. Reflection builds self-awareness. Self-awareness builds discipline. And discipline is the foundation of every powerful life. This is how you avoid repeating the same mistakes. This is how you stop blaming others for your emotions. This is how you master your story instead of being a slave to your patterns. Every night ask yourself, what did I feel today and why? What am I still carrying that I need to let go of? What needs to change inside me so that I no longer react to the same old triggers? These questions are not soft. They are surgical. They cut through the ego. They reveal the truth. And the truth is where your transformation begins. No man ever became great without knowing himself. You can build the body, make the money, win the fights. But if you do not reflect, you will keep bleeding in places no one can see. So reflect deeply. Reflect often. Make it a habit. Make it a ritual. Because every moment you spend understanding yourself is a moment you step closer to becoming unshakable. This is how you build the kind of mind that stays grounded in storms. This is how you build your Stoic legacy. Step 7. Learn to name your emotions before they name you. The most dangerous emotions are not the loud ones. It's the ones you ignore. The ones you don't even know how to name. Anger disguised as fatigue. Sadness masked by sarcasm. Jealousy hidden behind ambition. Emotional intelligence begins with awareness, and awareness begins with language. If you cannot name what you feel, you cannot master it. And if you cannot master it, it will master you. Most people drift through life at the mercy of emotional storms they don't understand. But you are not most people. You are building a fortress within. The Stoics taught this long before psychology gave it a label. Marcus Aurelius journaled every morning and every night, not because he was weak, but because he needed clarity. He dissected his fears, questioned his anger, and observed his mind like a seasoned general before battle. Naming an emotion isn't weakness. It is strategy. When you say, "I feel resentment," you have already distanced yourself from it. You are no longer the emotion. You are the observer of it. This is how you turn emotion into information, into power, into peace. Instead of reacting blindly, you respond with clarity. Instead of exploding or withdrawing, you express. Calmly, thoughtfully, precisely. This one habit, of naming what stirs inside you, shifts you from chaos to control. From being the victim of your own moods to becoming the master of your inner world. Next time you feel off, don't escape it. Don't distract yourself. Sit with it. Ask, what is this really? Not what it looks like. Not what I want to pretend it is. But what is this truly? And say it aloud or write it down. That one act alone is revolutionary. It builds the bridge between your body and your mind, between your instincts and your wisdom. The modern man who learns to do this quietly becomes untouchable. Because while the world screams, he listens. While others drown in confusion, he names his storm. And once you name it, you control it. That's the beginning of emotional mastery. Not silence. Not suppression. But recognition. Clarity. Command. You were never meant to be ruled by emotions you do not understand. Every feeling is a signal. Every reaction is a message. And once you learn to listen without judgment, you begin to lead yourself with calm, with power, and with precision. This is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally undefeated. A man who can master his emotions can master any room, any storm, any challenge. So stay mindful. Stay reflective. Speak with clarity and walk with purpose. Let your presence carry stillness, not chaos. Let your silence speak louder than noise. Emotional intelligence is not a trick. It is the highest form of self-respect. And once you own that, you become unshakable. Stay stoic and build your stoic legacy.